What's up? Welcome back to the Fast Brain Reset podcast. I'm Aaron, the Solar Coach. I've been a coach, author, and I've been sober for the past 7 years. On this podcast, we help ADHD curious minds, high achievers, reset, rewire, reclaim their lives from alcohol, one win, one step, one habit at a time. Today, we're going to be talking about what your fast brain is, why maybe you have a fast brain, and what we can do about it. So let's jump into the podcast. Have you ever looked at your life and think, why can't I just stop after one drink? Well, guess what? You're not alone because you're not, and you're definitely not broken. And I wasn't alone and I wasn't broken either. I felt alone at the time. But I realized over the past 7 years, there's tons and tons of people that felt the exact same way as me. You're just wired a little differently. Why? And that's what I call a fast brain. You have high drive, high emotions, high horsepower. Without the right traction, that same wiring can feel like chaos. Has your wiring ever felt like chaos? Have you ever felt like maybe you're overthinking or you're ruminating on things, or maybe you just can't focus on more than one task at a time, but you want to focus on more than one task at a time, right? There's a bunch of tabs open inside your brain. You get really into one idea and then you just move to the next one. After that dopamine comes down, or maybe you're drinking because you're just overthinking after work. You're ruminating. You want to shut your brain off. Today I'm going to be digging out what that fast brain actually is, what that overthinking is, and why alcohol feels like it works, and how to retrain your mind for real control. Because this isn't about slowing down, it's about syncing up your mind. It's about understanding your mind and how it works, and how that's going to work for you. So in episode one, I was kind of explaining my story about how I was, a high achiever. I was doing all these great things in my life, but alcohol was secretly kind of holding me back. And I didn't realize until just recently that it wasn't the habits that I put in place. It wasn't the necessarily the identity level change that was there. It was that all worked and that was great, but I was actually learning how to regulate my mind because as more I learn about ADHD, the more I learn about what ADHD is and the tendencies that you have. I'm really starting to realize that explains my whole entire life. The dopamine seeking, the novelty seeking, the inability to finish projects, those kinds of things, and the inability to turn off my mind and the overthinking. And it took me years to realize I wasn't addicted to alcohol. I was addicted to the regulation that I was bringing to my mind. And alcohol wasn't the cause. It was my nervous system's shortcut to calm. It was my nervous system's way of saying I need to shut my mind off. The anxiety, the overthinking, the ruminating on negative thoughts. Those things needed to be shut off, and alcohol became my shortcut to becoming calm and shutting that off. And once I understood my wiring, everything changed for me. I stopped trying to fight my brain, and I started training it. I started to put better habits in place. I started to, understand my habit loops. What was the underlying issue under there? I eliminated the need to drink instead of quitting drinking. That's two different things, right? Eliminating the need to drink is finding out what's going on underneath, finding out the problems that you have underneath, and then getting rid of alcohol that way instead of just quitting and getting rid of alcohol because something else is going to come in to replace that, right? So what exactly is a fast brain, right? You don't have a broken brain, you just have a fast one. So what do I mean by fast brain, right? Well, fast brains have got a couple of key factors inside of them, right? Dopamine, you're dopamine driven, right? You need novelty, intensity, challenge, right? If you're dopamine driven and you need that novelty, that intensity, and challenge, maybe you have a fast brain, right? I thrive under pressure, but struggle with boredoms and transitions. People with ADHD are actually really, really work well in emergencies. I know for me, my profession for a long time has been loss prevention. That's kind of my day job while I'm building my coaching career. And it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of, and a lot of, dealing with situations that normal people want to deal with. And I'm good with those. I'm calm under pressure. And that's kind of a sign that maybe you have these ADHD tendencies, right? But you struggle with boredom and transitions, right? So boredom is one of the things that's our kryptonite. If you're bored, you're going to just want to get up and do something. You have to have that, or you start ruminating and you start feeling like you can't shut your mind off, things like that, right? Also transitions from going from work to home, right, is a transition. Going from one task to another. That's a transition. And if you have this ADHD style brain, you kind of have this. Usually, people are like kind of in a seesaw with one task, go to another. You're kind of like, okay, I got one task, and then you can't. It's hard for you to get back up to another task. So that's the transition is hard for me as well. You feel emotions deeply and quickly. A lot of us with fast brains feel these things really, really quickly. It's actually a name for it. It's called rejection sensitivity dysphoria, which is you just feel criticism a little bit more. The tiniest thing can set you off, and you just you feel hurt and criticized and all those things that happens very, very quickly. And that's one of the things that fast brains have. It's just the way you're wired, right? And it's often labeled ADHD, but I call it a fast brain because it's not a disorder. It's a different operating system, right? Attention deficit disorder. And Dr. Hallowell is one of the leading experts on ADHD. Agrees with me on this one as well. That it's not an attention deficit. You're not in a deficit of attention because if you were in a deficit of attention, you couldn't hyper focus. You couldn't get things done. You can hyper focus and get things done, but it's just your brain's a little bit faster. He explains it like you have a Ferrari brain with bicycle brakes, right? So you got to learn how to put it on the brakes so they can get to where you've got to go because it's just a different way of operating, a different way to think of things. For me, like I built my entire business idea before breakfast and then I forget to eat it, right? So you have your entire, so for me, I wake up, right? I got this whole business idea. I want to do these things. I just started the school community, right? I'm obsessed about it. I want to get in there. I want to jump in and do these things. And then I forget to eat or I forget to let the dog in this morning, right? So my wife had to go out and let the dog in because I forgot. I was busy. I was doing things and I forgot about that. So it's kind of like this, you have the super focus, you can do great things, but also you have these blindnesses and these blind spots that we need to work on, right? That so the same drive makes us powerful, but can also make us exhausted when we don't know how to channel it, when we don't know how to use it, when we don't know how to do that. And that's why we start drinking. At least that's why I started drinking. It was the overthinking. It was the turning up my brain. It was and I felt guilt and shame for not being able to finish projects or starting things really hot and then, fizzling out a little bit. So that's kind of where I was. And maybe you're in the same spot too. And maybe that's why you're drinking. So I want to help you guys do that. That's why I created Fast Brain Sobriety. That's why I created this podcast. What's I created all these systems, the school community, everything is to kind of help you guys channel that brain, learn how it's wired, learn how to get through these things, right? So a little bit of science behind this as well. The dopamine equals motivation and reward, right? So fast brains just have a lower baseline dopamine. So they seek stimulation to feel balanced. So dopamine is that kind of that happy chemical that you have. You just have a lower baseline of it, right? So you're going to seek stimulation to feel balanced, to feel in control, to get that little bit of dopamine. And this means sometimes alcohol, sometimes it could be sugar, it could be doom scrolling. They all act as quick dopamine spikes for the brain. So alcohol, especially because you have that lower dopamine baseline, you're gonna get a little bit more of a reward right when you drink that first drink. So it's going to be a little bit more addicting. It's going to be a little bit more able to shut your brain off right away. So it's going to feel good in the beginning, but we're going to talk about habit loops and things like that in my school community, also on this podcast. That those that is a short term reward, and you're gonna have long term costs that build up underneath, and then one day you're gonna wake up and go, "Damn, I'm divorced. I hit rock bottom. What the hell happened?" And I don't want you guys to get there. So this is why there's most of us start losing control, not because we're weak, but because our brain found the fastest route to regulation, right? So we just found the fastest route to regulation. And that could have been alcohol, right? So why does alcohol feel like it works? Well, alcohol is a shortcut. It's a fast fix that backfires. It's not good for you. It's going to backfire, right? For fast brains, that may feels like regulation, but it's just a chemical relief. And over time, your brain learns to drink equals calm, right? Drink equals shut off. Drink equals reward. Sometimes drink equals, just being able to shut my brain off and not overthink anymore. But tolerance builds up, right? So it's called the tolerance trap. We talk about that a lot in my school community, on my YouTube channel, on this podcast, right? It's something called the tolerance trap. So you're gonna build up tolerance to this and that, and then you're gonna have to drink more and more and more just to feel the same. And that builds anxiety, fatigue, and increases, and that they all increase, creating a loop of overwork, overwhelm, overdrink, and regret. Right? Have you ever been in that loop? Overwork, overwhelm, overdrink, regret. In the morning, I know I have. Right? You get hyper focused at work or something. You come home, you have no transition rituals. You have nothing. You have no way to get rid of this overthinking, right? You feel overwhelmed. The kids are going crazy. You can't wait till they put on the bed, put the kids to bed, then you start drinking, right? Just to shut your brain off. And then you drink more because you need more, and then you just regret it in the morning. I know I was trapped there for 18 years. So there's no shame in that. It's just the way your brain's wired, and we're gonna fix that. So here's kind of a little bit of a story. Like Friday night used to be my off switch, right? So I used to get off work, I used to rush home, rush to the liquor store, then rush home, right? So and then I would drink my whole 2 days off. I would drink, and by Sunday I was anxious, I was guilty, I was already thinking about the next escape, right? And I spent my whole day, my whole weekend. I would spend the day with the kids, put the kids to bed. Me and my wife would drink at night, and then I'd wake up, feel the guilt, the shame, the anxiety. Can't wait to do it again again. I didn't even want to drink in the first place, but once I started to feel a little better, it's like I need to shut my brain off. I need to get rid of this anxiety. I need to get rid of all this crappy feeling. So I need to drink some more. And that was just that habit loop that got caught in. I never escaped it for 18 years until I realized that alcohol was just a habit with the addictive substance layered on top. I started becoming the sober version of myself that I wanted to be. I started working towards that, started putting better habits in place. The six sober habits are the ones that work for me and plenty of other people that I worked with, right? So there's journaling, there's meditation, there's connection, there's a meaningful absorbing project, there's daily learning, there's exercise and movement, all these things. I put those things in place and I was able to live an alcohol-free lifestyle for the past 7 years. And when people ask me how I did it, I was always telling them it was habit change, it was identity level change and all these things. Yes, it did. I even wrote books about it. But one of the big keys that I'm realizing this year wasn't all those things are great, but it was actually me trying to escape and trying to regulate my brain. And once I start realizing that I have ADHD tendencies and that I have a fast brain, and now I can put even more things in place to work with that and help other people work with that too, so they can get to where they want to go. So because alcohol boosts your dopamine briefly, then drops below baseline, like we're talking about. It enhances something called GABA, which is the brake pedal, right? When it wears off, the body rebalances with anxiety. So that's kind of like the emergency brake, right? Alcohol is the emergency brake. So you're driving really fast, you hit that emergency brake, but eventually you're going to have to put that emergency brake back into drive. And that's where the rebound, the anxiety, all those things kind of build up underneath. And the cycle trains your nervous system to rely on an external regulator instead of building an internal one. You want to build those internal regulators. We call them gear shifts in the school community in my programs. So you have drive, you have overdrive, you have neutral, you have a park, right? And so if you're in drive mode, you're good, you're doing tasks, you're doing all those things. And overdrive mode means there's too many tasks, too many things going on. You have that, and then that's where your brain can't stop thinking. So you get home, and then you with alcohol, you just kind of hit that emergency brake and you go into park. Park is calm and focus and it's just calm. It's shutting your brain off. But that just going into park is straight from overdrive is not going to work. You're going to be slamming on the brakes, right? And then eventually you're going to have to pull that in, and then you're going to go back into drive mode. What you want to do is go into neutral. When you're in neutral, you can push the car, but you're not moving, but you're able to push it, right? So you're not necessarily in park mode. You're just in neutral mode where you can kind of put better activities, better things in place so that you can kind of get there. And we talk about this more in the school community, but there's definitely a ways to get around this. So you don't drink it because you're weak. You drink because your brain was screaming for balance, right? You need that balance. So your brain is an effective, just better system. So what is the system, right? The goal isn't to slow down; it's to sync up, right? So fast brains thrive when they learn to regulate naturally through structure, novelty, meaning, those kinds of things. And we start building habits that support dopamine balance, movement, breath, challenge, purpose. You stop needing alcohol to feel okay. And this is what I mean by fast brain sobriety. You don't quit drinking to punish yourself. You train your brain to perform, right? So we're gonna have a little bit of a mini challenge today. Today, start noticing what triggers you reach for, you to what triggers you reach for today. Is for stimulation, right? Is it boredom? Is it stress? Is it transitions? And ask, what's my brain really looking for right now? What am I actually looking for? And a great way to kind of get into this mode of being able to sit and ask is sitting with your five senses, right? So kind of sit there and see, okay, what is my sight? What is my eyesight, right? What can I see right now? I see right now a blue cup. I see right now a mouse. I see right now a laptop. Kind of take that pause, take a couple breaths, and just notice what you see around you. What do you hear? What are you hearing? Is there noise upstairs? Is there stress? Is there cars going by? What can you notice, right? What kind of sounds can you notice, right? How do you feel? What is the feeling inside your body? Get inside your body. How am I feeling? Can you feel the jacket on your body? Can you feel your clothes on your body? Can you feel your feet on the ground? And those, get back into your body and feel that in presence, right? And then, what can you taste, right? What kind of taste are you having in your mouth? What kind of taste are you having inside your body, right? What kind of taste are you having? And then just move and kind of get back into your body, and that's going to really help you get back into the present moment. And that's called the power pause, right? So we can take 4 breaths in, 4 breaths out, and just kind of see what we see, hear what's going around us, feel our body. What is the physical sensations inside your body? What are you tasting, right? The taste is definitely one of those things that we want to get back into, right? And just move through those senses until you get back to a place. And then you can ask yourself a question. what am I really needing right now? What am I actually needing right now? Well, I'm actually needing, needing stress relief. Is alcohol, and then you can reframe it. Is alcohol going to give me that? Is alcohol going to actually give me what I think it's going to give me stress relief? No, it's probably not. It's going to turn my brain off for now, but it's going to be even worse in the future, right? I reframe that. And then what's going to look like if I have a drink? What's going to look like if I don't? Well, I have a drink, I'm going to get back in the cycle. If I don't, then it's going to look great. I'm going to have a happy, healthy, sober morning. I'm going to do great things tomorrow morning, right? And then engage, right? Engage in an activity. What activity are you going to choose? Journaling. That's good to get those mental thoughts out, right? What a meditation is a great one, right? Mindfulness. Go for a walk. Connect. You should connect every single day, especially if you have a fast brain. That's super super important. Connect with your spouse. Connect with somebody. Just a 2 minute text can really really help. That get you through that. What are you going to exercise? You can go for a walk. You can learn, or you can read a book, listen to a podcast. Whatever you do, choose that little bit of a habit to get back into place, because you don't need a new personality. You just need a new playbook. You need a strategy, right? And your mind isn't the enemy; it's your best asset. And once you learn how to drive it, it's going to be great. So that's what I have for you guys today. Next week, I'll teach you the core tools of the power, called the power pause, how to reset your nervous system in under 90 seconds. We talked a little bit about the five senses. Well, you can walk through that as well. If you join the school community, the free reset, there is going to be free meditation inside of there as well. The power pause meditation to kind of walk you through this for 5 minutes, so that you guys can get back into the groove and use that power pause to reset your mind, so you can move forward with this, right? And if you want to start practicing its work, you can join the free Fast Brain Reset community on School. 7 day resets waiting inside there for you. So it's walk you through 7 days of all the stuff we're learning about a fast brain. I'll show you exactly what the fast brain is. I'll show you some tools to get through it. We'll use the Dare to Be Sober reflection and the power pause to kind of get you through all these initial cravings and things. It's a great community. We also do work pods as well. So it's body doubling for accountability. So if you want someone to work with to keep you accountable on your goals, we do that in the community as well. Then Fast Brain Fridays is just kind of a Q&A live, where I talk about the things you guys want to know about. We deep dive into some stuff that we've been learning in the community. It's a great community. So remember, guys, train your brain and don't shame it. I'll leave a link for the school community inside the description here on the podcast on YouTube. And thank you so much for joining. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you got anything out of this. Share this with someone you love, because you don't have a problem with drinking. It's just your fast brain is looking for regulation. So let's not shame it. Let's train it and live a happy, healthy, alcohol-free lifestyle. So anyways, guys, see you guys later in the next podcast next Saturday, and we'll be talking about the power pause. See you guys in the next podcast.